progresses, through this week. Chris got moved in. I think he did a good job relative to the reps that he had. New right tackle. Right tackle did pretty well in the game, actually. We need to be able to execute, and everybody's got to be able to do their job.
I'll have more in a moment.
Josh, can you hear me?
It's a true Southern flavor since 1947. Using the finest ingredients, Conecuh Sausage has a tradition of making great-tasting hickory smoked sausage for over 70 years. Visit their new gift shop in Evergreen, Alabama, or shop online at ConecuhSausage.com. Conecuh Sausage, the official smoked sausage of the Crimson Tide.
The Alabama soccer team earned an at-large bid to the 2021 NCAA tournament. The Crimson Tide will travel to Clemson, South Carolina on Friday to face the Clemson Tigers for a 3 p.m. Central match at historic Riggs Field. The Tide advances to the NCAA tournament for the fourth time in program history and the first time since 2017. In addition to its 2017 appearance, the Tide also competed in the 1998 and 2011 NCAA tournaments. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Conecuh Sausage. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Touchdown. That championship trophy is headed back to Tuscaloosa. Up 15, dominating with this defense. Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? You saw the Gatorade shower this time. I love it. Hoover's wide open. Tide rolling again. Alabama again, the champions of college football. The roots of kicker and will not be caught. Touchdown break. Alabama back on top.
Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
Alabama wins. The Crimson Tide will not be denied. Devontae Smith cannot be stopped. Saban with his 7th national championship. National championship number 18. 13 in all. Absolute perfection.
Jay Barker led the Crimson Tide to a national championship in 1992. Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with the record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
Tech working the ball between the circles now to Crawford. Gives it off to Bradford on the right wing. Skip pass all the way to the right side. It's now caught, thrown away. Ahead to Nielsen. He'll throw it now. At foul. He'll go to the line to shoot one. Mercy. What a play. JQ back out between the circles. Another screen for him. A little drop pass to Ambrose Hilton. Inside. Gary for the flush. Here's JQ the other way into the lane. Whips a pass into the corner. Ellis 3 bottom. Williams with it out high. Working behind his back. Gets into the lane. Stops. Spins. Had it poked away. Nearly stolen. Now taken away by Miles. Ahead to Shackelford. Shack will step through. Tough shot left hand. Got the friendly roll. Bama pushes the lead to 22. As both free throws are missed, a scramble for the loose ball. Johnson gives it off to Barnes. Count it at the buzzer. Absolutely. Icing on the cake. They're acting like it's a game winner, and why not? 93-64.
All right, welcome in. And Alabama Crimson Tide basketball defeats Louisiana Tech. The Bulldogs 93-64. And everybody was looking out for Keon Ellis. And just heard from some of his comments. And last night as well from Coach Nate Oats. He was definitely the spark plug of this team. And as they hung nearly 50 points in the first half of the season and another 45 in the second half. Ellis led the team with 18 points. He got 9 rebounds, 3 steals to go along with it as well. Juwan Gary grabbed the double-double with 12 points, 10 rebounds. Shackelford, Miles, and Davison all got into the double digits of scoring. And even, as you heard, Tyler Barnes got a buzzer beater shot to get on the board there at the end as well. So congratulations to Nate Oats. Crimson Tide, what a great start. Overall, the Tide hit 39% of their three-point shots, 50% overall, and out-rebounded their opponents 51-37. So aggressive play on both sides of the court for the Crimson Tide last night. We're presented by Topgolf of Birmingham. Go check them out, Mark Grenier and all the great folks at Topgolf. You'll love it, the restaurant, the food, the drinks, and just the fun. It is the bowling of this generation, and you'll love it. Go check it out. It's Topgolf of Birmingham. And also driven by Sonny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Oxford, Anderson, Tony Russell, and all the great folks there at Sonny King Ford. All right, so basketball, Alabama got it done, but the Braves got it done too. I know you're happy.
They did. I thought I would have caught this last night. Of course, I'm old. I'm a senior citizen. I go to bed early most nights. There are nights Lars keeps me up. However,
yeah, it's weird. We always get a dinner together right after the show.
Yeah, exactly. Our dinners are much earlier. But yeah, I just saw this in my notes from last night. Ken Rosenthal is reporting that the Braves have signed Freddie Freeman tentatively to a 7 to 8 year deal worth $27.7 per season. I'm glad they got it done. I'm glad they didn't labor on this. I'm glad they didn't give your friend, your Yankee owner, a shot to try and dangle a huge carrot in front of him. But that's good news for the Braves, and it just puts another little magic touch on that season.
Lars, how's Nebraska? Have they restructured all the coaches out there yet? And Scott Frost still sitting at the helm of Nebraska football. But what's the feeling out there right now? And first of all, great to see you. Glad you had a safe travels out there.
Yeah, no, the feeling is one of sort of just bewilderment. The majority of the fan base in Nebraska wanted Scott gone, and that had been a dramatic shift just from about 2 months ago. And really it came down to the Ohio State game for Trev Alberts, the athletic director. And apparently there is such a thing as a moral victory because Nebraska showed enough in the Ohio State game for Scott to warrant another year. But it comes with a lot of stipulations. One, he had to take $1 million pay cut. 2, he basically fired all of his offensive coaches. I don't even know who's going to coach the last 2 games against Wisconsin and Iowa. Fired his offensive coordinator, his quarterbacks coach, his offensive line coach, and his running backs coach. They've all been pink slipped. And I mean, in a sense, he's been sort of emasculated. And that's not a good thing when you're a proud head coach. And he's no longer going to be calling the plays. And basically Trev Alberts said, look, I've been very, disappointed, but when it comes down to it, Scott's one of us. He's a brother. He's a Nebraskan, and I'm going to give him 1 more year. Well, you know what 1 more year means is Nebraska just has to make a bowl game next year. So that's 6 wins. Scott hasn't been able to get to that threshold so far. He through his first 4 years, he's the losingest coach, I believe, in the history of Nebraska football, which is just mind-boggling that he still has a job. But they still have the sellout streak going on, which dates back to the 60s. But that's only because corporate donors have stepped up and bought out big chunks of seats and then given them away. I would say that the temperature of the regular fan has changed, and I know this may not be of like the greatest interest to our listeners in Alabama, but I think it's instructive because it just wasn't that long ago, pre-Nick Saban, that Alabama was going through these same issues. And it's amazing, Jay, just how cyclical it is in college football.
Yeah, and I've never seen a run like Coach Saban's ever in college football. So that standard is way above any that we've ever seen. Scott Frost, my understanding, and you know more about this than any of us, he's kind of fought some demons off the field as well. So I think that's something that he's got to get – get straightened out, and I think that will help him on the field and help him as a coach and in that building. But you're right. I mean, they took pretty much everything that he brought with him away, and now they're ask him if he needs a quarterback coach.
Hey, are you interested? I can email
yes.
Scout your resume.
Your winter. Well, you went through Canada. What am I talking about?
Definitely. But
Lars,
we'll see how it all works out.
Lars, put two hats on. Put your journalist hat on and tell me if you think this is a pretty good move for Nebraska and the Nebraska Nation. Then put your NU. You probably have NU shorts on right now because you are a huge Nebraska fan. Your dad took you to their first game. Give me both sides of that, from a fan and then from your seat as a journalist.
Well, I tweeted out, and it was just I don't know why I got so many responses, something like over like 2,500. But I just tweeted out. I said I think they need to bring Scott back simply because if you don't have a plan B in place, then you better just stick with the guy who you already have. And what Scott has learned, and this is and I think what Nebraska has learned, that the offense that Scott ran at UCF, it just doesn't work in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is all about sort of you have to control clock. You have to be able to stop the run. You have to be able to establish the run. You have to be strong up front on both offensive line, defensive line. And so, Scott is going to bring somebody in. So I think from a reporter's perspective, I think this is the right move just to give Scott one more year. But from a fan's perspective, I think the same thing, that Scott should have one more year. And Jay hit it on the head. There are so many rumors going on about Scott and his personal life, and it's never been written about. So I don't really want to articulate what those rumors are, but I've heard it probably from 30 different people from all different walks of life and people sort of inside the program. Again, nobody has written about it, and I don't know if that's because if you write about it, you will lose all access, and that's always a balance that reporters have to weigh. I mean, I'm certainly not a beat writer at Nebraska and worried about access, but I also have an issue usually of writing about somebody's personal life. However, we saw with Jimbo Fisher, right, at Florida State, that the issues in his own personal life caused him to lose focus on recruiting and lose focus on his program. And so he essentially left the cupboard bare when he bolted for Texas A&M, and Florida State is still recovering from that. Florida State is nowhere near the program it was, just because if you miss just on one or two recruiting cycles, it is so hard to come back from that. And I do think there is a sort of a parallel between Jimbo and Scott. And, it's not too difficult for people to do a Google search and to see what I'm talking about. But I do think it's the right move. They're going to have to, I think they're going to start the kid from Alabama, Smothers, the last two games, who Antonio is familiar with because he played in Northern Alabama. And so I think Nebraska's starting quarterback these last two games is going to be Smothers, played high school in Alabama.
Muscle Shoals, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. And we hit on the Alabama win last night. Again, big win for Crimson Tide, and a great start for them as well. The points, the defense, the way that they played. We have not talked about CFP, so let's do that real quick. And before we get to our first break, but they came out last night as far as the ranking. I think I nailed these yesterday. I didn't get Cincinnati and Michigan State right, but I got the four. Yeah,
in order.
Georgia, Alabama at 2. Oregon at 3, Ohio State at number 4, Cincinnati comes in at number 5, right there on the outside. 9-0, they trended up one spot in the CFP, and Michigan is at number 6. They trended up one spot. Michigan State went down 4 spots, now still sitting at 8-1 and number 7. 8 is Oklahoma, Notre Dame is 9, and 10 is Oklahoma State. Texas A&M sitting right outside at number 11. in the CFP rankings. All right, we'll do more on this and discuss it. Actually, it's actually National Signing Day as well for a lot of the fall sports that are out there. So news will be coming in about that as well. We'll continue here live from AVX. Before we go, though, I want to say about Local Realty, one of our great sponsors, and Jeremy and Gina Miller, their whole idea about Local Realty a few years back when they started was, look, your money, your biggest investment for a lot of you is your home and the money you put into it, the equity you put into it. They want you to get the most out of the sale. So instead of charging a percentage, they charge what's called a flat fee, $2,900 flat fee up to a $500,000 listing. It's a great company. It's going to save you a ton of money, really make you a lot of money. They've saved millions for people in the Birmingham metro area. They're now expanding from north to south Alabama. People love this group. They love how hard they work. More importantly, they love putting that money back in their pocket for vacation, new homes, education, retirement. It's your money, and they realize it. Go to localrealtyflatfee.com. That's localrealtyflatfee.com for more information on Local Realty.
I know it's game one, but I've got the straw on the University of Alabama Crimson Tide basketball team. Amazing player on both ends. We'll talk about it when we get back on the Jay Barker Show.
Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The best sports talk in the state. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, shop laptops, monitors, and more, plus free shipping. Call 800-BY-DELL. That's 800-BY-DELL.
It takes two vaccines to help protect you this season, the flu and COVID-19. And now you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccines.
That's a no-whip, high-foam, 170-degree, sugar-free gingerbread latte.
Ah, yes. It's gingerbread latte season at Duchesne's Coffee Shop. He'll need a seasonal barista before his cookie starts to crumble.
Anything else? Oh, there's a list.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You and your phone have been through a lot this past year. It's been your lifeline to the world. And now some big wireless company is telling you got to buy a new phone from them and sign their contract? They don't control you. With TracFone Wireless, you can keep the phone, number, and network you already have. Already got a 5G phone? Keep that too. Because TracFone runs on America's best networks now with 5G nationwide. Plus, we've got unlimited talk and text smartphone plans starting at just $20. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. 5G nationwide access requires a 5G capable device. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So it's about time for an oil change. We've got what you need. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic or synthetic high mileage motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $36.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with a free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
You know when you order a new video game, or a golf club, or a blender, and then it arrives at your door, you get a little thrill. Imagine how much more thrilling it is when you order a new car. With Nissan at home, you can shop for the perfect ride and order it without ever having to go anywhere. Sure beats a golf club or a blender. Buy a new car entirely online with Nissan at home. Delivered direct from dealer to driveway. Thrill starts here. Services may vary at participating dealers, subject to applicable law. See dealer for details.
Pride of Tuscaloosa and Lakeview Police Department are excited to bring opioid awareness to the Bibb County community with an easy way to dispose of unwanted and expired prescription drugs. Dropbox coming soon, located in Lakeview Police Department, lobby address 22765, Central Park Drive, Lakeview, Alabama 35111, or call 205-477-1289. Pride of Tuscaloosa and Lakeview Police Department are excited to bring opioid awareness to the Bibb County community. That's opioid awareness for the Bibb County community at the Lakeview Police Department, brought to you by Pride of Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa Tire and Service, they've got the big brands you know and trust. Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, and they can finance for you as well. When you need routine maintenance and alignment, tune-up. Whatever it is, belts, hoses, just basic stuff, or when you don't know what's wrong with your car, truck, or SUV, make it Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They're dependable, they're trustworthy. That's why they've lasted for over 36 years. Skyland Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard East in Northport on Lurleen Wallace Boulevard. Check out the website, TuscaloosaTireandService.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very pleasant afternoon. The sky partly to mostly sunny. The high today 76. Tonight increasingly cloudy with the low at 55. Tomorrow a cloudy day with occasional rain showers. There could be a thunderstorm in spots. The high tomorrow at 70. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 73 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
All right, Kirby.
So
Kirby
you
up
know
there.
there's some drama because our producer has now put 5, 6, 7 down there. So something has happened. After Georgia, Alabama was 2 last week. Tide not impressive against LSU.
Nobody was impressive last
They weren't.
week.
Yep.
And they let Bama off the hook because Ohio State wasn't impressive, Cincinnati wasn't impressive, so they had a chance to move up.
Well, that's the thing is I wondered if all of that meant we were going to have not many changes. Who's 2?
Alabama.
We don't have many changes. Now, we know we're going to have a change at 3 because Michigan State lost outright against Purdue. So who moves into the 3 spot?
Oregon.
Slide
them right up.
Yeah. Okay, so Oregon just slotted up 1. Michigan State gets out of the way. So now Cincinnati, Ohio State, 4, 5. Buckeyes were ahead last week at 5, 6. Who's number 4?
Slide them on up.
Yeah. Ohio State. So we're kind of seeing a pattern here. Everything's saying status quo because nobody was
now,
impressive.
the only mystery this week is what happens to Michigan and Michigan State. I mean, after the loss last week, Joey keeps saying they're at 7. I have no idea where they're going to be. But are they behind Michigan? Are they ahead of Michigan?
They need to be behind.
I wish they would
It's
play
only
each other and
one
we'd
goal.
figure that out. That would be really nice.
Welcome back in. Also, we got Roger Hoover going to be joining us at the bottom of the hour as he does each and every Wednesday from CTSN, Crimson Sports Network. And always great to have him on. We get his thoughts about Alabama's big win last night, 93-64, and a lot of great moments. And Matt, you said you're going to break down some of it as well. CFP again last night. The big news in college football: Alabama still sitting at number 2, Georgia number 1, Alabama 2, Oregon 3, Ohio State is 4, and right outside is Cincinnati at 5, Michigan 6. Michigan State is 7. Kind of surprised Oklahoma ended up at number 8, sitting at 9-0. They're just not getting a lot of respect.
No, they're not
at all.
They really aren't, and I'm surprised. They're undefeated in a legitimate conference, and no, they haven't all been impressive wins, but neither have a lot of teams except for Georgia, and they've been very impressive. On Alabama basketball, I don't think I'm breaking news here, but what I saw last night out of Keon Ellis reminded me a lot of Herb Jones from last year. He's just playing so hard all the time. He got the most minutes. He had 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, 3 steals. Just the kind of numbers that you saw from Jones last year. And then Davidson played, Davison, JD, the young freshman. Man, you hate to throw this on a team after one game, but they looked in midseason form. I will parenthetically note this. I don't know how good La Tech is.
Yeah.
They just may not be very good. We should also note that Auburn was very impressive. They defeated Morehead State. Now, keep in mind, these are more of a cupcake teams. But Auburn won 77-54, and UAB clobbered UNC Asheville 102-77 down at Bartow Arena.
And Lars, the beauty last night was the student section. They said over 3,000 at one time, 2,000, got to 3,000, overflowed there. It's pretty much, I think, ran out of tickets for the student section area. The students were there. I think Nate at the end of the game, I saw his press conference last night. I think he said 12,600 people were at the game as far as attendance. That's a great opening night.
Well,
they
got
you guys, this is just different. This is just totally different. Can't remember when a Tuesday night in November felt like this in Coleman Coliseum. And, there were students there an hour before tip-off. At the end of the game, the students were chanting for Tyler Barnes, who's a fan favorite, a walk-on to come off the bench, and Oats obliged, and Barnes made back-to-back free throws late in the game, and the students went crazy, and you saw the players walk into the stands to thank the fans on their way to the locker room. And I mean, this just doesn't happen at Alabama very often. But winning the SEC championship last year, running the Sweet 16, they've already sold a record 6,700 season tickets. And and I felt it when I'm on campus that it's completely galvanized the student body. And the fact that we're in football season and this huge crowd shows up shows you that. Also, should be noted, in attendance were 9 NBA scouts. They were there to look at Alabama freshman J.D. Davison, who's going to be most likely a first-round pick next summer. 5-star guard, came off the bench. Played 26 minutes, scored 12 points, grabbed 6 rebounds. But you're right, Matt. Nate Oats went out of his way to talk about Keon Ellis and his 18 points and 9 rebounds. And he talked about how reminded him of a Herb Jones type of effort. And the fact that Jaden Shackelford, remember he entered the transfer portal, looked like he was gone. It really looked like he was gone. Nate Oats did a great job of getting him back. This is a special team. I mean, and I know it's just one game and you don't want to sort of overanalyze it, but I think they're going to be better than last year. And last year was a historic year for Alabama. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah, they got a real shot. They got a lot of great athletes, but it's game one, and the crowd showed up. They also memorialized Luke Ratliff last night, the super fan for Alabama basketball. Great to see that and see how Nate Oats has really taken that on himself. And but the fans there, I think Josh said that there are a lot of students were arriving around 3:30 in the afternoon yesterday. So that is awesome. They were there to support. Awesome what they did for Luke. And last night, Alabama, if they keep shooting this way, Lars, we brought up earlier, 39% of their 3-point shots, 50% overall, and out-rebounded their opponent 51-37. So keep playing that aggressive on both sides of the court. You're going to be very tough to beat, and that's Nate Oats' style, the way he wants to play, and what he's brought from day one, Matt.
They shoot the three. They don't make any bones about it. They make the three, as you just noted, almost 40%. If Alabama duplicates the numbers that they got last night against Louisiana Tech, they are going to win a whole lot of basketball games. They were 50% from the floor. That's legit. 13 of 33 from three-point range, 16 of 23 from the free throw line. I'm sure Nate would like to see that go up a few percentage points. But all in all, just from a fan standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, and from the players and the overall effort of the team, it was a kind of start. Wimp said, I hate to go back to my day, but it was a kind of start that Alabama got when I was first there and C.M. Newton was a coach. And then when I was covering Alabama, Wimp Sanderson, of course, Wimp Sanderson would have never agreed to 33 threes. Never.
You ever seen Wimp eat a wing?
No, I've had a few meals with him. Why? What makes it? Does he just pull the thing?
Oh, it goes in, it comes back out. It's all. I'm like,
and there's nothing but the 3 little bones.
That's it. I mean, and it's not like he just does it. He's pretty smooth there.
Lars, can you do that? Didn't Nebraska invent the buffalo wing?
No, it's obviously in Buffalo, New York, my man. I'm not a wing. I'm not a wing person.
Time?
I'm not a wing person.
You did claim something. What was it?
Yeah,
it was the Reuben.
Yeah,
the Reuben.
I
had a Reuben yesterday at where it was invented, and it was quite good. They actually were having a Reuben fest. You could get Reuben soup. You could get a Reuben potato. It was just a whole lot of Reuben going on.
What is that other sandwich you're going to bring about 6 or 7 back?
Runzas. Yeah, Jay's had a Runza. I'm bringing back Reubens, and I'm bringing back Runzas.
All right.
Take out that one line, and it could be just a meme all over. Jay's had a Runza. Do you struggle finding new ideas for branding, marketing materials for your business? If so, right now, I would say about a great company, Fully Promoted. They can help you. And when it comes to branding, marketing your products, really telling your story, that's what it's all about. And they're going to help you do that. They're going to help you brand it, market it, tell the story, really show you how to, whether it's decoration or selection of different materials, things that you need to let your brand stand out. They're going to help you do that. So give them a call. Check them out, 2054-06-6430. That's 406-6430. Mention you heard it right on the Jay Barker Show for a special offer, 205-406-6430. Let them help you get fully promoted, tell your story, and get your brand out there. Are you fully promoted?
Roger Hoover, CTSN, is next.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store, where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape, along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269.
Following this summer's Tokyo Olympic Games, the eyes of the world will turn to Birmingham, Alabama, and the World Games 2022. Next July, the world will come together for the South's largest international sporting event since the 96 Centennial Olympic Games. 3,600 athletes will compete for gold in 34 sports, including lacrosse, softball, gymnastics, flag football, and more. Tickets are on sale now. Buy yours at twg2022.com.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out gofan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit gofan.co now. That's gofan.C.O.
When you go to turn on the lights, you expect them to work. Our team at Alabama Power does too. But sometimes, extreme weather and events test our system. Knowing we're out there making repairs helps, but answers are what you deserve. So, we're rolling out new tools to keep you informed, especially during storms. Visit Alabama Power's new outage map to see outages in your area and get updates on repair times. And sign up to get personalized outage alerts on your phone or computer for free. Learn more at alabamapower.com/alerts.
right, welcome back in. And again, Lars out in Nebraska, but he's via our StreamYard live streaming with us here on our Bama Insider YouTube channel. If you're listening in throughout our network across the state of Alabama on terrestrial radio and down the Gulf Coast, you can always go on YouTube and type in Bama Insider or Alabama football. Normally, those two things will get you right to the YouTube channel for Bama Insider. We're there live every day, noon to 2. And it lives up there pretty much for the rest of eternity on their server with YouTube. But we appreciate all of you tuning in, your comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And we really appreciate you joining us each and every day. And gives us technology to have Lars in Nebraska, but still have him like he's in studio with us, sitting there.
Almost. We're minus a dog.
Yeah. Hey, where's Ted, by the way?
Ted's at my house.
Hey, where is Ted?
You're barking.
Yeah, Ted had a little meltdown the other morning. He's okay, Lars. He's just fine.
Jay told me yesterday. He goes, Jay. He goes, Ted almost died yesterday or this morning. I go, he did. He goes, well,
I didn't mean
it was almost me. He quit barking.
They're putting new gutters in on my house, and they got there at 7:00 in the morning, and he did not stop for about 3 hours, just barking. Anyway, Roger Hoover doesn't want to hear about this.
He doesn't. Let's go to Roger and with CTSN. Roger, how you doing, my man? Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, I'm doing really well, guys. As we get into the fun overlap season, basketball on top of football, it is a great time of the year, and especially a great time of the year to be an Alabama fan.
Yeah, great turnout as well. Students, big time. Nate announced about 12,600 people at the game last night on a Tuesday night, and starting off the basketball season in a big way. And not only on the offensive side of the ball, defensive intensity. We talked about three-point shooting right at 40%, 50% overall as far as shooting. But, man, I tell you, what a great night for some of these youngsters and guys to get some experience. And really for us as fans to get a chance to see a lot of these guys for the first time.
Yeah, good chance to get to know them and just know that Alabama has really strength in numbers. Even though some of the post players got in foul trouble last night, there was always somebody else that could step in, and he felt just as confident with them going in the ball game. It really is remarkable the amount of depth that Nate Oats has brought to this roster. You get Jaden Shackelford with his decision to come back. He has a great performance, 17 points, and then players really get developed in this program. I don't think that gets talked about enough. You look at what Keon Ellis, Juwan Gary are adding to this team, along with Darius Miles coming off the bench. Guys don't just necessarily sign with Alabama and they don't improve as time goes on. I mean, that could not be further from the truth. These guys come in, and even though they were playing behind guys like Herbert Jones and John Petty in the last few years, they've been working on their game, working diligently with assistant coaches Brian Hodgson, Antoine Petway, and Charlie Henry, and developing those skills to where now they're pretty polished players once they get on the floor. And I was really impressed with everything we got to see against a really good Louisiana Tech team. I don't think that can be stated enough. That's a team we're going to see in the NCAA tournament, because I think Conference USA will probably get 2 bids this year. And I certainly expect Louisiana Tech to be one of them. They took out Kenneth Lawson Jr., one of the best players in that league and in the nation, could be in the NBA next year. That made him really get tired as the game wore on due to the pace that Alabama played with. And that's a great sign for this team moving forward, that they handled their business so well against a really quality opponent, and one I expect to be in the NCAA tournament, Louisiana Tech.
Roger. Yeah. Sorry, Roger. How do you think this team is going to look different from last year's team that won the SEC title, made it to the Sweet 16? I know the style of play will probably be the same, and I know it's very early, obviously just after one game. But what do you see the major differences between this year's version of Nate Oats' squad compared to last year's version?
Well, Lars, I think you're right. I think offensively it's still going to be the Nate Oats brand of basketball. You're going to move up and down the floor really quickly. You're going to shoot early in the shot clock as much as possible. I think the one key difference will be Alabama now has some great rim protectors that maybe they haven't had since Coach Oats has been here in Tuscaloosa. You may have to go back to when Dante Hall was playing for the Crimson Tide to have somebody that could really block shots, be dominant. I think whether that's Charles Bediako, Noah Gurley, when we see Alex Chiku later in the season, I mean, those are some players that can definitely do that for the Crimson Tide on a consistent basis. And then they're just flat out athletic. When you see J.D. Davison coming off the bench and getting those highlight rebounds, flying around with the basketball. That's the other thing. I think Alabama's going to be dunking the ball a lot more than what we've seen in recent years. And again, defensively, that intensity is going to be there. Now you add shot blocking in to go along with the blue collar mentality that this group tries to play with, and that's still going to be the challenge, I think, early in the season. I think the offense is going to be there, but Nate Oats is not really satisfied with that. Even though that's a huge cornerstone of his program, he looks more to the defensive side of the ball because that's where he saw year one. That's where Alabama had to take the biggest jump. Certainly made that in year two, but you also made that with a player like Herbert Jones, who was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year and was one of the best in the nation defensively. Now you got to learn how to do that without Herbert Jones, and it's going to take everybody, I feel like, to fill that void.
Just real quick, is there a follow-up? Is there going to be who is going to be that defensive stopper for Alabama? That's where Alabama ran into some problems last year when they just didn't have a sort of a rim protector. Does Alabama have that player now?
I think they do with Juwan Gary, with the intensity that he played with last night. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 of those were on the defensive glass. He won the blue collar award as he only got it by 1 rebound. He was just in front of Keon Ellison getting that blue collar award, that hard hat that those players really relish in. And those guys, the basketball staff charts all sorts of different statistics to look and see who wins that award. I think it's going to come down to Juwan Gary. And again, he's a player that has spent some time on the bench with injury and has slowly worked his way back, and again keeps developing his skills, and they like what he's doing right now. So I think that's a really good first step. But I think it's still going to be by committee a little bit. But I think Juwan Gary is a guy that was inserted into the starting lineup last night and played with the kind of intensity and style this coaching staff wants to see each and every night.
From CTSN, Roger Hoover is our guest here on the Jay Barker Show. Last night's game really wasn't competitive after they went on like a 31-15 run after it was 17-16. So they got pretty deep into the bench. Had this been a very, very competitive game, how deep can Nate Oats really go to his bench? Because you mentioned depth earlier.
I missed the last part of your.
If it's a competitive game, how deep can he go to that bench with confidence?
I think he can go pretty deep. You may not see the walk-ons get, even though that was part of the most entertaining part of the night, seeing Tyler Barnes and Brenton Johnson. For a rebound on a missed free throw. Nate said that was his favorite play of the night in his post-game press conference. But other than that, I think you're going to see the bench really get improved. If I look back at the box score, Keon Ambrose Hilton is certainly going to get his minutes. He played 7 last night. Really outside of the 5 players, Son Holt, along with Tyler Barnes, Brenton Johnson, Delaney Hurd, Jaden Quinterly, I think those guys playing, Holt is going to play some as the season goes along as he continues to develop as a freshman, but everybody else, the locked minutes for the Crimson side, they expect to play, and I think we're going to see Alex Chiku back pretty soon, it sounds like. So I think the depth to see a pretty high number, especially early in the season, and then you hope to get to that consistent road conference play.
Alabama's got South Dakota State coming up on Friday, and then they go, or South Alabama then comes into town, Oakland as well, and then they go on the road to Iona and Gonzaga. It's going to be a cool, fun next few weeks, but 4 straight home games for the Crimson Tide. Any thoughts on those next 3 coming up? Any of those teams that maybe worry you about some of their players of the competition?
Yeah, South Dakota State coming up on Friday is going to be a really fascinating game, very similar to Louisiana Tech. This team that expects to be in the NCAA tournament. They were a year ago. They won the Summit League, and 9 players returning. Their top 9 leading scorers are all returning this year. All the starters are back from a team that was loaded, played extremely well last year. So this is once again going to be a really big test for the Crimson Tide coming up on Friday night. As Alabama does such a great job in building a tough schedule, and I think that's going to be something that Nate Oats is going to continue to do as long as he's in Tuscaloosa. Always have a very challenging schedule. He pointed to it last year. It was kind of crazy with COVID year, scheduling games at the last minute. You only got to play 7 non-conference games, and Alabama went 4-3. And even people in the state thought things were about to get messy with this program before going 16-2 and coasting to the SEC championship in the SEC part of the schedule. So he always wants this group to be challenged. And I think that's going to continue, especially this upcoming game on Friday. And then you mentioned the matchups coming up next week with South Alabama and Oakland, the 2 solid programs as well, especially that Oakland matchup on the Friday night before the Arkansas softball game. So it's a great test, and then all can't wait to get down to Disney World and enjoy that tournament coming up with the Iona matchup, and then possibly a matchup in that tournament as well with Kansas. And then a week later, the same day as the SEC championship game, get to go to Seattle for a really marquee matchup with number 1 Gonzaga. And Alabama's got a lot of things to work on before you start playing the Kansases or the Gonzagas of the world. So that's why Friday night against South Dakota State is hugely important, because it's a really good basketball team, but also this team still has a long way to go in Nate Oats' eyes to playing at their best.
You know, my father graduated from South Dakota State, so I'm a Jackrabbits guy. But switching the Jackrabbits, yes, and they're a good team. I believe they made it to the NCAA tournament last year. Switching subjects to what transpired at Bryant-Denny Stadium on Saturday night, Alabama rushes for 6 yards in a closer than we thought victory over LSU. College Football Committee didn't seem too concerned, keeping Alabama at number 2. The same cannot be said for Alabama fans. Roger, give us your analysis of what went down on Saturday night against LSU, and where does Alabama go from here? What do they need to improve upon, or what do they need to work on this week as they play New Mexico State, one of the worst teams that Matt Coulter knows all about, New Mexico State, one of the worst teams in all of college football?
Yeah, my initial reaction to Saturday is that it was one of those games where defense had to lead the way. And sometimes that happens in a championship season. You look back to the 2009 year, it was a defensive struggle against Tennessee that Alabama was able to get those blocked field goals and win, and that helped keep an undefeated season alive and going. This hopefully will be a championship season for the Crimson Tide, and you hope that this was kind of the ugly defensive win that sometimes you get in a year like this. Maybe we've been spoiled a little bit because there haven't been as many of those moments in the last few years of what the team has been able to do offensively. But for whatever reason, it was just a tough night offensively for the Crimson Tide. LSU played really well up front, and even though they were down in numbers, they were well coached. They were well prepared for that challenge against Alabama. And obviously the Darian Dalcourt injury, reshuffling the offensive line. Chris Owens moves over, a couple of snap issues. Damian George seemed to play pretty well in his spot at right tackle, but the communication, the cohesiveness of the offensive line wasn't necessarily there, kind of reminding me of the secondary when Malachi Moore was ejected for targeting early in the Texas A&M game. Just in-game adjustments didn't happen as well as Alabama would have liked, and that led to obviously a very close game against LSU. But again, a win's a win. Alabama can move forward, keep sharpening up the fundamentals, I think, this week against New Mexico State. And then after that, you are going to have to play great football against Arkansas first and foremost, then Auburn down on the plains, which always seems to give Auburn a unrealistic boost against Alabama or against any opponent some years. But, it's going to have to start on the line of scrimmage. This offensive line is going to have to play really sharp, focused football and together football against the Arkansas Razorbacks, because they certainly have a good defensive line that can create the same, if not more, pressure than what LSU was able to put on Bryce Young. And we saw Bryce Young really have a game where he was challenged, I think, more than he has been all season long. So there's a lot to work on for this team. And again, it's another reminder that their focus has got to be on football. It's got to be on the fundamentals and playing with that hunger and desire that I think Coach Saban's been wanting to see all throughout the season. And it was another reminder. Hopefully it hit home for this group this past Saturday night in a winning effort. You always like to learn after wins. So again, Alabama won the football game. Great chance to get another win coming up this Saturday. And then really got to buckle down and take care of his next 2 weeks if you want a third week to happen.
Roger, always great stuff. That's Roger Hoover from CTSN. Thank you, my man.
Thanks, Roger.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you. Bye.
All right. Roger Hoover, again, Crimson Tide Sports Network. Coming up at the top of the hour, we got Drew DeArmond is going to be joining us. 97.7 FM, The Zone, ESPN out of Huntsville, our affiliate up in Huntsville, Alabama on the Jay Barker Radio Network. We appreciate Drew Cruz will be joining us talking Bama basketball, football, and much more. Brian Passink will join us tomorrow, I think, hour number 2 as well, the color analyst of the Crimson Tide. We'll break down the game last night as well as look ahead to that South Dakota matchup that Roger just talked about. All right, we'll be back. Stay with us. We'll finish up hour number 1 right here on Bama Insider YouTube channel and all across the Jay Barker Radio Network. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The best sports talk in the state. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Hey, team, we landed the contract.
Yeah. Kaya's web design studio just landed the gig of a lifetime.
It starts next week.
Their staff needs to double before the dream deal becomes a nightmare.
Front end, back end, a project manager.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They've got the big brands you know and trust. Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, and they can finance for you as well. When you need routine maintenance and alignment, a tune-up, whatever it is, belts, hoses, just basic stuff, or when you don't know what's wrong with your car, truck, or SUV, make it Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They're dependable. They're trustworthy. That's why they've lasted for over 36 years. Skyland Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard East in Northport on Lurleen Wallace Boulevard. Check out the website, TuscaloosaTireandService.com.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up, there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
You know when you order a new video game, or a golf club, or a blender, and then it arrives at your door, you get a little thrill. Imagine how much more thrilling it is when you order a new car. With Nissan at home, you can shop for the perfect ride and order it without ever having to go anywhere. Sure beats a golf club or a blender. Buy a new car entirely online with Nissan at home. Delivered direct from dealer to driveway. Thrill starts here. Services may vary at participating dealers, subject to applicable law. See dealer for details.
It takes 2 vaccines to help protect you this season, the flu and COVID-19. And now you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccines.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your headlights are getting dim? With the seasons changing, now's a great time to change them. Upgrading your headlights can ensure you'll be safe and ready to handle darkness and fog. Oh, and we recommend replacing in pairs. That way you won't have uneven lighting over time. You can get all of your lighting needs fast with our next day delivery and free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easy.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Church's is adding Applewood smoked Texas cut bacon to our all-white meat chicken sandwich. Yep, these 2 are best flavors forever. Try our new Texas cut bacon chicken sandwiches today. Church's, bringing that down home flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Fall is a great time to get your home improvement projects done with the help of Banks & Company Hardware in Utah. They have a great selection of hardware, lumber, sheetrock, and home repair products for yard work. They carry Husqvarna blowers, weed eaters, and chainsaws. If you're a hunter, Banks & Company Hardware has deer corn, moultrie feeders, deer scents, hunting clothes, jackets, boots, orange vests, and hats. Stop by and see Barton Elliott and his staff today at Banks & Company Hardware. Open Monday through Saturday in downtown Utah.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very pleasant afternoon. The sky partly to mostly sunny. The high today 76. Tonight increasingly cloudy with the low at 55. Tomorrow a cloudy day with occasional rain showers. There could be a thunderstorm in spots. The high tomorrow at 7. I'm James Payne on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 73 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Back in as we wrap up hour number 1. And again, Drew DeArmas will be joining us from 97.7 FM, the Zone ESPN out of Huntsville, Alabama, our Huntsville affiliate up there for the Jay Barker Radio Network. And I look forward to get his thoughts on Alabama's big win last night in basketball as well as their win over LSU, and a look ahead to this week's game and what's coming up with the Crimson Tide as well. Sitting at number 2 in the college football playoff rankings, you got Georgia at 1, Alabama 2, Oregon is 3, Ohio State 4, Cincinnati 5, Michigan 6, Michigan State is 7, Oklahoma is 8. Hard to believe they're 9-0. Notre Dame 8-1 at 9, and Oklahoma State at 10. They round out the top 10, 8-1. Texas A&M at 7-2 is sitting at number 11, so just right outside the top 10. Some other SEC notables: Ole Miss at number 15 at 7-2, Auburn at 17 at 6-3, and Arkansas at 6-3 at number 25. All right, Lars, we got your thoughts about the top 4 CFP rankings, week 9. Your thoughts on where everybody's sitting right now?
I think they got it right. If everything goes to form, and if Alabama beats Arkansas, beats Auburn, and then manages to beat Georgia, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about Alabama and Georgia. But I do think, and Matt and I discussed this the other day, I believe, that Alabama actually matches up pretty well with Georgia. But there is some breaking news coming out of Tuscaloosa that 5-star guard Jaden Bradley just signed his national letter of intent, and it's the first time in school history that Alabama has signed 2 5-stars in the same class. He's a point guard, and Nate Oats said that Jaden is the number 1 point guard in the nation, and it was a huge for us that we got his commitment. There are a lot of good players who want to play with an unselfish pass-first point guard like Jaden, and we think he is the next in line of great point guards. So the news keeps getting better and better for Nate Oats and the Alabama basketball program.
That's just about enough Jadens.
Yeah, exactly.
You got 3 Jadens and a Jalen now, and there may be more, but that's up to Chris Stewart to decipher.
That's right. I love the tweets coming in, though. It's Alabama men's basketball put out, "Welcome to the family, Jaden." And as you just brought up, Lars, for the first time in school history, signed a second 5-star in the same class. And again, Jaden Bradley out of IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. So 6'3", and very talented point guard, as Nato said, the most talented in the country. And he has chosen the Alabama Crimson Tide. He is signed, sealed, and delivered, not just committed. All right, good stuff for Nate Oats and for the basketball program. They continue to build that. And congratulations again last night. The students really stepping it up, being out there. And I know a lot of them wanted to be there for Luke Ratliff and the memorializing of him. And what a great fan he was, and always getting those guys riled up in Coleman Coliseum. So good for you, students, being out there to support not only him, but of the team last night. 12,600 people, over 3,000 students. Great stuff. All right, hour number 2 coming up next. Drew DeArmond going to be joining us in 97.7 The Zone, our affiliate out of Huntsville, Alabama. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Achieving your personal best often comes down to how you feel. And when it comes to the right shoes, nothing feels better than New Balance. The fit specialists at the New Balance Birmingham store conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot size, shape, and gait, determining the best New Balance shoes for you. Experience the difference of custom fit today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
I know you know about Guthrie's Chicken Fingers, but do you know about the Guthrie family? 1992, they started selling chicken fingers. They were the first chicken finger restaurant and the first drive-through chicken finger restaurant ever. They've been around for over 50 years. Since the beginning, Guthrie's have been using only the finest ingredients in their Guthrie's boxes. While others have tried to copy, nothing tastes like Guthrie's chicken fingers dipped in that Guthrie's famous sauce. Guthrie's restaurants are expanding to give the entire U.S. a taste of their golden fried chicken fingers. Franchise opportunities are available. Go to Guthrie'sChicken.com. That's Guthrie'sChicken.com for more information.
I want to tell you about my good friends at Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker. And look, Ken Needham has done a terrific job. Local company, 205-980-1505 is their number. That's 980-1505. Again, local, you can speak with the same team every time you give them a call. Full line of products from auto, home, boat, life. You'll trust them. They have a great deal as far as the relationships they build with their customers and 20 years with the same company and industry. Custom approach for your insurance needs. Give them a call, 980-1505. That is Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Whether it's for lunch or dinner, head out to the Cajun Steamer. It's a New Orleans style joint that serves authentic Cajun and Creole food, cold beer, and great drinks. They are known for their wide array of Cajun classics and original creations prepared in an authentic fashion. This Louisiana kitchen can have you slapping the table for more. Stop by the Cajun Steamer and sign up for your Alabama, LSU, or Auburn fan card. Eat with the Cajun Steamer while your team is on TV and use your fan card to receive a 15% discount on your entire meal. With locations in Hoover, Trustful, Huntsville, and Franklin, Tennessee, they've got you covered. Head out today to the Cajun Steamer.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit gofan.co now. That's gofan.C.O.
Birmingham's best Mexican restaurant for over 20 years and counting. That's La Paz Restaurant in Crestline Village and Mount Laurel. They've got a great staff. Its delicious menu, award-winning cheese dip, and margaritas and vibrant atmosphere have helped to make La Paz a local favorite. Blue corn nachos, Texas barbecue quesadillas, steak and blue quesadillas, Baja fish tacos, signature fajitas, and much, much more. So head over to La Paz today. If you want a great lunch or a great dinner, you'll find all that at La Paz, Crestline, and Mount Laurel for lunch or dinner.
WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Touchdown. That championship trophy is headed back to Tuscaloosa. Now 15 dominating with this defense. Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. Oh, love that. You saw the Gatorade shower this time. I love it. Clippers wide open. Tide rolling again. Alabama again, the champions of college football. The roots are kicker and will not be caught. Touchdown, great. Alabama back on top. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins. The Crimson Tide will not be denied. Devontae Smith cannot be stopped. Saban with his 7th national championship. National championship number 18. 13-0. Absolute perfection.
Jay Barker led the Crimson Tide to a national championship in 1992. Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with the record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
Yeah, and Quinterly, had 9, so we're, and he's going to be in double figures most of the night. He's a one more bucket, one more point away from having 6. So I thought it said how much we want to share the ball. Shackelford, 17, kind of had us going early. Keon Ellis got going there a little bit later in the second half. Those two at 18 and 17, and then, Juwan and JD with 12 each, and Darius Miles comes in off the bench, and just over 16 minutes, scoring 11. I think it shows how deep we can be. We played in the rotation. I think, what do we have? 8 guys in double-digit minutes. And Keon Ambrose gave us some good minutes when we got in foul trouble there. So, and I think Jason Holt will come along. It was needed more depth on the front court than we did kind of in that wing play tonight. But we've got good depth. We've got good players. The ball moves. We had 19 assists. I think, we didn't. We shot it pretty well from 3 tonight, but it wasn't like we went on fire. I mean, we had Keon Ellis shot well. Cornelly could shoot better, but I think the ball's going to move. I think you see we tried to make a point of emphasis on finishing at the rim better. We were 16 of 24 at the rim. We had more assisted at the rim shots, which has been a big point of emphasis with us. So, the one play when JD slashed and got the pass from our 5, I think plays like that are what we're looking for. I thought we did well with what we've been emphasizing.
All right, welcome in. And hour number 2, we are presented by Top Golf of Birmingham. Get out to Top Golf today. You'll absolutely love it. We call it the bowling of this generation. Fun for the family, your friends, your coworkers, a lot of party, a lot of charitable events they do out there as well. You're going to love Top Golf of Birmingham. Driven by Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Oxford, Anderson. Go see Tony Russell and all the great folks at Sunny King Ford. 93-64 last night. That was the score. And we got joining us now from 97.7 The Zone, Huntsville, one of our affiliates throughout the network. And a lot of you watch us live on our YouTube channel right now at BamaInsider.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We got Drew DeArmond joining us, not only just a great guy, but a great commentator and sports guy throughout not just the state of Alabama, but throughout the Southeast, and a big Braves fan, too. I saw him the other day with his Braves stuff on at the Alabama game up in the press box. But Drew, great to have you on.
Great to be with you guys, and great to have college basketball back. And what a great environment it was in Coleman Coliseum last night. Great crowd, especially for an opener. And the students turned out for Cameron Luke Ratliff, who I think everybody crossed his path in the last 4 years, knew who he was and knew how much passion he brought to Alabama basketball. And it was well done by the university and a great start for Nate Oats in his 3rd season.
Drew, when you look at just even today, the signing of the number 1 point guard in the country, and all that he's building right now with this program, it's really exciting. And I think you're going to see more fanfare around it because he's winning. He's putting a winning product, and he's also recruiting great kids.
He is. I mean, Jaden Bradley from IMG Academy has already signed today, as has Brandon Miller from Cane Ridge High School in Antioch, Tennessee. That's 2 5-stars. Probably only the second time Alabama signed 2 in one class back to the early 80s when Enos Watley and Bobby Lee Hurt signed from the state of Alabama, from Birmingham and Huntsville, respectively. So it's a huge, jump for Alabama. They've got the 3rd-ranked recruiting class in the country now after Rylan Griffin from Richardson, Texas. The combo guard committed yesterday. He should sign today as well. And then they're looking to sign Nick Pringle, the number 2 JUCO in the country, center power forward, a guy that can bring some rebounding, shot blocking. And then, of course, they got the commitment from Noah Clowney from Roebuck, South Carolina. So they've got commitments at all 5 spots on the floor, and they may not be done. So we'll see. Alabama's recruiting at a very high level, Jay, probably at the highest level I've ever seen it. Even I know back in your days, the student athlete at Alabama, Wimp Sanderson, recruited very, very well. And many probably don't remember that at one time Alabama basketball had the 2nd most active NBA players to North Carolina back in the Wimp Sanderson days. They seem to be back on that same track with what Nate Oats is accomplishing at Alabama.
Drew, this question may sound like a little bit of a non sequitur, but do you, and this is something that Jay and I have been talking about for a long time, but is there a correlation between Alabama football doing so well and Alabama basketball sort of being reborn under Nate Oats, and just the fact that one has been doing so well for so long? Does that have an impact on the other?
Well, I think in some ways it does, because I think Alabama, the brand that Nick Saban's been able to build, as far as since he's rebuilt the football program into the best in America, and reestablished Alabama as historically, to me, the top college football program of all time. When you, in this day and age of the media, Alabama's brand is on everywhere. And I think when you see that, and you see that the enrollment at the university and the way it's just absolutely exploded to 40,000 students, I think when Nate Oats was, approached by Greg Byrne, he saw the potential in the program. Of course, he grew up following college basketball, vociferously, and he knew about Wimp Sanderson. He knew about the success. I mean, Mark Godfrey had 5 straight NCAA tournament appearances, so there had been success in the past. It just hadn't happened consistently, and I think he saw the potential. And I think his mentor being Tom Izzo is very important as well, because I think Tom Izzo is a football guy. He's always supported Michigan State football quite a bit. And I think he saw the same kind of potential with Alabama as a university athletically, that and being able to have a good program in both, as they've had at Michigan State and in basketball and then in football at times. I think he saw the same things could happen at Alabama. And I think he figured, Greg Byrne is one of the best ADs in the country. He's going to give me all the tools and resources that I need. And he had taken Buffalo about as far as he could. So it was timing. I will say this, though. If Alabama had not acted as quickly as they did with the Michigan job coming open, it might have, it could have had a different outcome. But coaching searches are all about timing sometimes. Everything lined up perfectly for Nick Saban. Everything lined up perfectly for Nate Oats. And now that he's been at Alabama for 2+ years, seen the environment and the people around the school, and getting the facility commitments that he's getting, and we continue to hear now possibly about a new basketball arena. I think Nate Oats is very excited about the future, and he understands, and you guys are just talking about it, you can recruit at the highest level at Alabama, whether it's football or men's basketball.
I want you to continue that thought for just a moment. Other than the obvious, and you just mentioned several, why are these elite basketball players streaming to Alabama?
Well, Matt, I'll say this. I think it's because of the playing style. Nate Oats allows you freedom offensively. Now, he holds you to a standard. You have to guard, you have to defend, but he allows you the freedom to shoot threes. Guys want to play in a freewheeling style. They want to spread the floor. They want to be able to create. They want to play in an NBA style of basketball, which is spacing and attacking offensively, up-tempo basketball. Alabama had been sold that by other coaches, especially Anthony Grant when he was at the university, but it never materialized. I mean, Alabama was good defensively, but the pace of play was not was not crowd pleasing, was not aesthetically pleasing. Everything Nate Oats has said, probably his best attribute since he's come to Alabama has been his communication, whether it's with the media, the fans, or with his players. Everything he tells you comes to fruition, and he plays a unique style. Alabama leads the nation in 3-point attempts. Alabama wants to score the basketball. They want to play up tempo. He's very analytical, as you guys know. He keeps a close eye on pace of play, and I think that's really resonated with kids. It certainly has been a boon to recruiting since he got to Alabama. I mean, it started as soon as he was able to get to the university, when he was able to get a guy like Javon Quinterly out of the portal. And I think the biggest thing, too, that's really helped Nate Oats is Quinterly did not fit at Villanova, and Villanova was also a blue blood program, national championship caliber. But when everyone saw how well he was developed at Alabama in Nate Oats' system, that led to a guy like Jaden Bradley signing today. It also led to the signing of J.D. Davison. And J.D. Davison, guys, I've been following Alabama prep basketball since I was a very young kid in the 80s. J.D. Davison is the best athlete to come out of this state basketball-wise since Gerald Wallace in the year 2000, but he's more polished, as you guys have already seen a couple of times. Alabama fans are going to enjoy this young man. He is an absolute stud, and he is going to be one of the best freshmen in college basketball this year.
Drew DeArmond joining us, and again, our affiliate in Huntsville, 97.7 The Zone, ESPN. And I got to get your take, though. You were there the other night, Alabama-LSU game. Kind of what did you see from your perspective about this Alabama football team? And I'd love to also, I know you've had conversations with Wes Neighbors, being there and the conversation that he has about whether the offensive line, the performance up front, and kind of what he's seeing from that standpoint. Kind of give us your guys' thoughts on where y'all see Alabama right now.
Well, I mean, I think concerned a little bit with the style as far as the technique, a little bit of the slide technique that's being taught. I think, he'd rather see man-on-man blocking. I think at times that has been lacking a little bit. I mean, certainly I do think some of it is a talent situation. When you lose guys like, Alex Leatherwood, who was a stalwart for his 4 years at Alabama and was a guy that, locked down left tackle, the first-round pick. You had Evan Neal, another first-round pick, a future one at right tackle, and the best center in the country, Landon Dickerson, and Deontay Brown. Let's not forget, cornbread from my area. He's from Austin High School. He's in the NFL with the Carolina Panthers as well. So you had a lot of talent and ability on that O-line, and now it's gone. I think Javion Cohen's a good young player. He's been a little up and down. Certainly Evan Neal has had a good year at left tackle. But the center, Darian Dalcourt, has been, I think, solid. He hasn't been Landon Dickerson. That's tough. And then Emil Ekiyor, I think he's been affected because Chris Owens has struggled some at right tackle. I think his level of play has dipped some. I thought Damian George did some good things on Saturday. I'd like to see more of him to see if he continues to get more comfortable and see if he can hold up in pass protection consistently. We might see him in the lineup Saturday. We'll see. Due to the injuries, we'll see if Darian Dalcourt plays. But I just think overall, when you look at it, I think Chris Owens is a leader. But I think when you've looked at him in the pivot at center, you remember him 2 years ago. He struggled there. He did play well last year in those spot starts in the playoffs. But he was surrounded by a bunch of studs and first rounders. He's not now. I just don't think he's as effective. I think going forward, I would like to see Alabama go with Dalcourt at center, and then of course the right tackle be Damian George, because I think George he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of size and power, which is what Nick Saban especially likes on the right-hand side of the O-line. But I think really when you look at it, I wouldn't overreact too much because, I mean, I remember in 2012, Alabama had a bad performance against Western Kentucky, gave up about 9 sacks. DJ Fluker struggled a lot early in the season, and the fans were very concerned. I know this one was later in the year, but I think Alabama, when you look at it offensively, this was really their first poor performance. I know there were some questions about red zone play calling at Texas A&M. We know how good that A&M defense is. We just saw them shut Auburn down and keep them out of the end zone last Saturday. Alabama had over 500 yards against them. So to me, I want to see how this offense responds from this performance from this past weekend. I think Alabama came out somewhat overconfident against LSU, thought LSU was going to lay down, and they did not. And so I think it was a wake-up call once again for this group. And so it's interesting to me when I hear Nick Saban speak on it, Jay. I think he's concerned about the leadership in the locker room somewhat from the players, and he's trying to kind of realize this team is fragile and that they're going to have to be approached differently to try to get this team to perform by the end of the season. But I just think overall the O-line's a work in progress still. It's concerning being the ninth game, but I would like to see more of 74 at right tackle, get Dalcourt back in there and see if they can be a little more consistent, because to me, I think we've seen enough of 79. I know Owens has played as hard as he can, but I just am not sure that he's one of the best 5 right now. And that's concerning being in the ninth game of the year. But football's a game of adjustments, and I'm going to be interested to see what Nick Saban and Doug Marrone and that offensive staff do against New Mexico State, and then going forward against Arkansas and Auburn.
Drew, as always, great stuff, my man. Thanks for joining us and breaking it down for us from basketball and football. It's going to be an exciting basketball year under Nate Oats. This team getting off to a great start last night. They beat Louisiana Tech Bulldogs 93-64, and Alabama again got New Mexico State coming up this weekend. Drew, thank you, my man.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, man. To everybody in the Rocket City, hello. 97.7. Except for West. 97.7 The Zone. ESPN, our affiliate in Huntsville and throughout the Jay Barker Radio Network. And again, thank you for watching and listening online as well at our YouTube channel, BamaInsider. If you're listening throughout the network, terrestrial, you can go online and just go to YouTube and type in the search, Bama Football, BamaInsider, Alabama Football. It'll take you to us. And listen to us each and every day. You can't listen to us in the car. If you're at home or want to watch it later, it stays up there forever. And go and like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for listening in and watching on all those different platforms.
NIL in college basketball. I hadn't heard a lot. I'd like to ask you guys about it on the other side of this break.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
Your home for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Ask big.
Have you seen our artisan-created diamonds? If you've been in a room with one, you can't miss it.
Tom Osmond from Fincher and Osmond.
It's a diamond like I've never seen.
And he's seen a lot of diamonds.
Ask big.
At Fincher and Osmond, you can put artisan-created diamonds side by side with mined diamonds. When you see it,
more importantly, when she sees it,
FincherandOsmond.com.
McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots.
This is a national healthcare alert from the 24/7 Diabetic Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one has diabetes, listen closely. Now, regardless of your age, if you have insurance, you may qualify to receive diabetic testing supplies with little to no out-of-pocket cost. Get free delivery, free information, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers for free. Call the 24/7 Diabetic Health Hotline now for details. Toll free at this number. But wait, there's more. If you call right now, you could get a meter upgrade. In addition, we'll give you a free pair of diabetic socks as our special gift to you. Regardless of your age, if you suffer with diabetes and have insurance, you may qualify to get free delivery of your supplies.
800-441-0419. 800-441-0419. 800-441-0419. That's 800-441-0419.
Has the pandemic affected your business? Even with more and more customers going online in the past 5 years, online business has grown greatly due to the pandemic. Now more than ever, it's important to have a strong online presence so that customers can find your business and products easily. That's where Townsquare comes in to help. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis to see how your business stands up to the competition. And if you're one of the first to sign up, you'll get $500 in free advertising on this radio station. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
You know when you order a new video game, or a golf club, or a blender, and then it arrives at your door, you get a little thrill. Imagine how much more thrilling it is when you order a new car. With Nissan at home, you can shop for the perfect ride and order it without ever having to go anywhere. Sure beats a golf club or a blender. Buy a new car entirely online with Nissan at home. Delivered direct from dealer to driveway. Thrill starts here. Services may vary at participating dealers, subject to applicable law. See dealer for details.
Join Randy Smalley and me, Captain Ray, for the Randy and Ray Football Forecast, where we pick the games against the spread. It's this Friday night at 11 following the high school scoreboard show on Tide 100.9. Brought to you by Randy Smalley Floor and Tile.
Step up your creativity now during Dell's Black Friday event with early access savings up to $300 off, including deals on the latest PCs with Intel Core processors, shop laptops, monitors, and more, plus free shipping. Call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very pleasant afternoon. The sky partly to mostly sunny. The high today 76. Tonight increasingly cloudy with the low at 55. Tomorrow, a cloudy day with occasional rain showers. There could be a thunderstorm in spots. The high tomorrow at 70. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 74 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Welcome back in, and thanks for all of you that are online with us at Bama Online, BamaInsider, BamaInsider online there with the YouTube channel. Go to BamaInsider YouTube or put in Alabama Football. You'll find us. The Jay Barker Show with Lars Anderson, Matt Coulter, Antonio Langham, and Trent Richardson join us throughout the week, as well as Tony Curry, who was with us yesterday as well. And thank you for all the comments coming in as looking through a bunch of the ones that coming in. Saw where John Palmer actually said earlier he could do the same thing with a wing that Coach Wimp Sanderson could. Thought that was good. He also said, I think basketball team can go 8 to 9 deep. Script day, Bama basketball, exciting again. I like the way we play and anticipation around the program. RTR. Ricky Smith, yes, sir, even when we are in football season and folks are still talking about basketball. I think he means that in a good way. And then Roll Tide Roll from Aaron McGuire and also Neil, Brooklyn Neil in the house. Bama going to run the table, then deal with Georgia. Neil says, I like it. Thank y'all for your comments, and we'll continue to read some of those throughout the shows each and every day. Get a question going into the break about NIL.
I'm just curious. We've seen all the huge deals that Bryce Young going into SEC Media Days gets NIL deals close to $1 million, and the Bojangles and the Bo Nix and the Milo's T, but I haven't heard anything on basketball. I saw one online, and that's what queued me up here. That the point guard, female, now this is UConn women's basketball, Paige Buchers, who was, I guess, player of the year last year, has just signed a very big deal with footwear and apparel marketplace platform StockX. Not familiar, probably not in their demo either. But just real quick, have you heard of any?
Basketball-wise?
Yeah.
I haven't heard any basketball-wise. Well, Quinterly did a cameo.
And cameos are great. That's a great way.
You can do birthdays and wishes and all types of. He may have signed a deal. I know they were thinking about signing some of the players. I don't know if they ever did that. Probably just to get with Butler. And he'll know whether or not Brett would know whether or not they get some of those NIL deals going on with college basketball. But you're right. It doesn't seem to be as publicized. If there is some out there, Lars, do you know of anybody?
I don't. But I wanted to ask you, Jay, because you have over the years have had your hands in various businesses. Do you think that the NIL market is coming down based on Spencer Rattler, right? He made a ton of money, and now he's not even the starting quarterback at Oklahoma, and he probably won't be at Oklahoma much longer. DJ, Matt, help me out. Ungalalele.
Ungalalele.
All right.
I don't even know if I said it right at the same time.
Dr. Pepper signs him. Dr. Pepper signs him to a national commercial campaign, a television campaign, part of Fansville, and he's struggled this year, as has Clemson. So there are some major companies that aren't getting bang for their buck. So I'm just wondering, where is the market, Jay, going to level off?
Yes, and markets correct themselves. I do think there'll be a correction probably in the other way from where we've seen so far the money being spent. But I do think it will go back. And here's why. The market's not built on performance so much. And I know that sounds weird, but I think that's the truth. I think it's based on followers. I think they like the social platforms these guys have, the number of people that they can connect to, the people that want to hear the stories. And I think people connect to them and want to hear their stories. They might even want to connect more in the bad right now. If Spencer Rattler was to come out and say, here's my story, here's what happened, here's this, same with Ugalele or Ugalulu. So whatever those stories are, exactly. Thank you, Josh. You just say it over there for us. Whatever those stories are, I think people are interested. And I think that's what's going to keep selling. I mean, I think people are that much intrigued with the college athlete. And I think that the products, brands, they're going to keep spending the money, Lars. I mean, they want that connection to the fans. They think it's unique. They got a lot of publicity even from the announcements of these guys going on board because it was the first time we've ever seen it. Throw that graphic back up, if you don't mind, of the guys in Alabama for me, Josh. I know you had I think a couple of guys that had signed some deals there locally in Tuscaloosa. If you can throw that back up. I know you're working through your slides to get there, but I saw a couple of things that were pretty interesting and familiar from my days down in Tuscaloosa, probably yours too, Matt. It says Alabama receiver Slade Bolden and two Quinterly brothers of Alabama basketball, Jaden and Javin, have partnered with Mobley and Sons. Remember Mobley and Sons? I mean, which is over here in Mount Brook too. Yeah,
I do.
I mean, I used to go buy my stuff to be able to wear for games and stuff. They probably
and now you get it free and also get paid for walking in the door and signing a few autographs.
Yeah, the announcement comes days after the Twins signed, actually, joint cameo and marks more movement among Crimson Tide student athletes following the NIL legislation. So there's a lot out. I mean, Braxton's got deals where he posts stuff about clothing. They send him boxes of stuff. It's crazy. And I mean, he's even, being, third, fourth string quarterback at Bama still has
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
A couple of apparel deals. And
so Jay,
but it's social media. It's the liking.
It is. Yep. Social media.
Jay, we're, 3/4 of the way through the season. And before the year kicked off, we talked about how the NIL deals potentially could have an impact on the dynamics in the locker room. Have you, just from what you have, talked about with your son, and I know you can't go into details about that, and just what you've heard from other sources, has that been an issue at all at Alabama?
It hasn't seemed to be at all. I mean, I think Coach Saban did a good job early on, kind of saying, look, don't go out there and just sell yourself to everything. Early on, a lot of the athletes were just signing deals because they were excited. Like, man, get $100 to do this and do this. And then finally they realized, wait a minute, the contract says I got to keep doing this and this and this for this amount of money. So they were able to get, I think, some of those guys out of those deals early on. But just being very protective of their brands and those type of things. And I don't think it's really caused any issues. I think, anytime, at least I know I would, and I'm sure Bryce is a good young man. If he's getting deals, I bet he's working deals for his offensive linemen and doing things with them. Evan Neal just signed a huge deal with Morgan & Morgan.
They're doing the muscle pose on the billboard.
Yeah, Size Matters is the billboard campaign. They've been doing it with all these SEC football players. Not sure if they went outside of the SEC, their footprint, but really great campaign. And my understanding, got paid very well for that those billboards to go up. So good for them.
Jay, in total transparency, do you ever go, wow, oh, wish I'd have had that? I mean, wouldn't it only be human nature to think Jay and your name?
I mean,
after that national championship game, after that season, your name was literally gold.
And I had 2 more years.
And
2 more years.
Probably wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, and I don't know. I love doing this, but it's one of the things though that it is crazy because when I was in Alabama, I tell people all the time, my biggest exposure and probably my hottest time as far as an athlete was there. I mean, it definitely was there. I mean, the ability to have earned off the field, and even being able to earn for what you did on the field would have been nothing else would have ever compared to that in my career. So that's the thing they can kind of drive you crazy sometimes. Antonio and I sit around, and even Trent. I mean, Trent, he's just right out of there, 10 years removed, but still, he's like, man, why could we not have this? So we're all looking for retroactive NIL.
Okay, let's do that. Maybe you get the College Football Players Association to go back and get some of that
when they're formed here in about 10 years.
So Jay, is the team's starting quarterback, not just being specific to Alabama, let's say making $500,000 a year, is he then able to give money to his offensive line?
I don't know. We don't.
I don't know why not.
I mean, it's his money. He earned it. It's his friends. No inducement. I don't think he to recruits that are on visits. But other than that, I mean,
Lars is going to give us money for promoting his book, right?
He already did me.
Okay. Oh, you already did.
Have we mentioned that yet today? Got a couple books out.
See, I queued it up. Perfect.
How's the book doing?
It's doing good.
Doing well.
Season in the Sun, still a #1 bestseller on Amazon. I'm going to be on Sarah Spain's show on ESPN tomorrow night, I think, and just doing all sorts of media. So it's all going good. Thanks for asking, man. I appreciate it. Teed it up well.
Congratulations. Yeah, timely. Yeah. NIL and Season in the Sun.
We'll pay you in rock and roll sushi. How about that?
That's
good,
cash
isn't it?
to me, baby.
Yeah, so one of our buddies out right now at Rock and Roll Sushi having a good time. Hey, get out to Rock and Roll Sushi, biggest hit in the restaurant business, new location, downtown Birmingham, 5th Avenue South and Richard Arrington Boulevard. You'll absolutely love it. It's an amplified dining experience. What they mean by that, you get the rolls you love with the music you love in rock and roll, and also do that with the people that you love at Rock and Roll Sushi. It is an amplified dining experience like none other. It's the biggest hit in the restaurant business. Get out to Rock and Roll Sushi.
Lars has some more questions concerning Alabama's offense, and we'll get to those on the other side of this break. You're listening to The Jay Barker Show.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most important and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape, along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. Your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Hi, it's Jay Barker for Siebel's in downtown Homewood, and now's the time to get your special place ready. Come in and let Siebel's design your porch with Kingsley Bait outdoor furniture and one of their custom swinging beds. For the great room, you're going to need their Carson swivel recliner. Siebel's is the #1 Carson recliner dealer in the country. And Sarah and I, we've got one, and we absolutely love it. Be sure also to check out their famous custom-made beds and bunk beds built by Siebel's and made up with some of their best linens in town. Their staff can truly put your bed together like no other store. You can also follow Siebel's and shop on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to call or go by their special store in downtown Homewood. The number is 800-448-1962. That's 800-448-1962. And just for listening, go to SiebelsCottage.com and order anything you want and type in Jay Barker for a special discount code. That's Jay Barker for a special discount code available only to our listeners for a limited time on The Jay Barker Show. Siebel's in downtown Homewood or online at SiebelsCottage.com.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan. Letter C, letter O.
I mean, he's more than just a fan. felt like he was part of the program. You know, like I met him early. You know, he was here early. Well, I mean, shoot, there was times he was here for shoot around 4 hours before a game, setting stuff up. You just tell what kind of passion he had. To me, that's what college athletics embodies. Just, you know, student that's just all in. Sure, when he came to my house once, you know, like she was great. You know, like he was part. He felt like he was part of the family. He wasn't officially a manager. He wasn't on staff. He wasn't a player. He was nothing, but he was part of us. Like he was at every single game. That last year he came on. He drove to Missouri. He made it all over the place. And you know, just hopefully, you know, the spirit of what he was about stays with the student section. I think the administration's done an unbelievable job, you know, moving forward with what he stood for, you know, giving the plaid jacket to the next, you know, let's keep that thing rolling, you know, give him the seat in the front, and everybody remembers how passionate, and he was passionate about this before we got it rolling. I mean, he was passionate about Alabama basketball before he got here. My year one, he barely missed any games, and we were just real average that year. So it was awesome. You know, the last year that he was able to watch Alabama basketball, we had the year that we had. You know, it was disappointing that we didn't have this place packed for that, but the fact he was there at every game, that was special. So made sure I talked to his family before the game, after the game. I think they were moved by the presentation, the just everybody coming together to honor their son. It was awesome.
All right, welcome back in. And again, as far as what they did last night, and for Luke Ratliff, great memorial, and his area that he set in, and the parents beforehand, and the students really showed up for not only the athletes last night out about basketball, but also for him as well, with a big crowd in Coleman Coliseum for a big win for Alabama over Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, 93-64. It shot right at 40% from the three-point line. Very exciting brand of basketball and aggressive defense as well. It is the Nate Oats style, as we've seen over the last couple of years. So, and he's going to continue to get those crowds into Coleman Coliseum. We have the Final Four came out last night. The other big story, or biggest story in college football, when it came to the top four and kind of where a lot of these teams are lying now, and where everybody kind of expects or thinks they'll be coming up in the weeks to come. You kind of wait on these things to come out. On Tuesday night, you kind of have an idea of where things might end up or where they might end up as far as in the rankings, but you never know. And Cincinnati's been one of those teams that's, in the AP and the coaches, they've kind of placed them inside that top four. They haven't gotten there yet in college ball rankings. Week 9, Alabama, again, sitting at number 2, but Georgia at 1, no surprise. Alabama, Oregon at 3, Ohio State at 4, Cincinnati at 5. Michigan is at number 6, Michigan State at 7, Oklahoma 9-0. We brought that up a couple of times at 8, Notre Dame at 8-1 at 9, and Oklahoma State at number 10 in the CFP football rankings week 9. How much or what can Cincinnati do, guys, to get in? Does it have to be somebody else going to have to lose, or can they win their way into this just based on who they play?
I don't think so. It's unfortunate for Cincinnati, and they've had a great season. Man, Luke's done an unbelievable job the last few years, and they proved it in postseason last year. But it's just not going to happen. They are not respected enough as just a football team who has gone undefeated, but they've beat a lot of lousy teams. I mean, and Matt being brutally honest here, I really don't see a logical way they can make it. Now, if some of the most bizarre things in the world happen, and a lot of these one-loss teams end up with 2, and some of the undefeated ended up with 1, I guess you could kind of, piece the puzzle together where they could make it. But Lars, I don't think they're getting in my brain anyway.
I think the one scenario that would work in Cincinnati's favor is if Alabama plays Georgia in the SEC championship game and Georgia beats Alabama. So you have a 2-loss Alabama. That will knock Alabama out of the playoffs. And then you have Michigan upset Ohio State in the regular season, or you have Ohio State losing to, I think it'll probably be Wisconsin, I believe, in the Big Ten championship game. Then I think Cincinnati gets in. Now, would Cincinnati get in over an undefeated Oklahoma team? Would Oklahoma leapfrog Cincinnati? As of right now, I don't think so, because the committee has really not shown a lot of respect for Oklahoma, and the committee has a long memory of all these near misses, or these games that Oklahoma played this season where they were very lucky to win. And so, I think, Cincinnati can still make it in. They really need, again, Georgia to beat Alabama, and that might be enough. I don't know if Michigan could leapfrog Cincinnati if they beat Ohio State. Maybe, but actually, strike that. They probably would. But yeah. So I think they have a reasonable shot still. Just my opinion. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah, going back to Oklahoma, they've got Baylor this weekend, who's number 13 in the country. So that's going to be
coming up. Baylor's coming off a big win too.
Yep, so that's a big test for them there. And then they've got Oklahoma State, who's number 10 in the country. So they've got the competition, they've got the schedule here at the end. I think to make a real good push, and that can impress the committee. I am surprised they're that low, though, being undefeated and being Oklahoma. Be 9-0, first in the Big 12, and I don't know if it has to do with how they played early on with Spencer Ratliff. If do they trust that Caleb Williams is going to be the guy that comes in and continues to have the success he's had so far? But huge win this past week with Texas Tech. What was it, 52-21? They won big, but again, they're going to have two big tests coming up, and I think if they pass that, they've got a great shot at getting in that top four.
It's really interesting just to watch it and study things. Like, just notice that Michigan is 6 and Michigan State is 7. What happened with that game 2 weeks ago?
Right.
I mean, and if things drop like Lars said, Michigan could end up there. Mm-hmm. Michigan State be on the outside looking in, and they beat the team that's in front of them. And I tell you what,
hate
guys,
to say this, but it's blue blood. I mean, it's the old.
Well, then if that's true, Jay, what about Oklahoma?
No, I agree.
That just baffles my mind.
But Michigan has a brand. Michigan, because that does blow your mind. If both those, they're 8-1, then you go ahead. How do you position them in that order? It's a good question. I mean,
only Lars Anderson.
Yeah, Lars knows.
Well, the committee has said all along that conference championships matter, right? So Oklahoma could get a pretty big boost if they go and win the Big 12. Just the same way that Michigan, if they somehow could come back and win the Big 12, I don't even know if that's possible at this point. But I fully expect it'll be Ohio State, and I think Ohio State almost can write their ticket. And can Oregon hold off everyone else in the Pac-12, and then can Alabama be? Do you guys see? Let me ask you this. Do you guys see any scenario in which a 2-loss Alabama team makes it in?
It would have to be a really close loss to Georgia in the SEC championship game, but have to have played so well over the next 3 weeks against New Mexico State, Arkansas, and Auburn. If they're impressive wins there and then impressive in the loss against Georgia, there might be a shot. But I would not put that in the I wouldn't take a bet on that. I wouldn't gamble on that.
Hasn't the committee already shown, and they did so on the very first rankings, they showed Alabama a tremendous amount of respect.
They did.
And more so than I think the three of us thought. So if it's a close game against Georgia, I see a chance that a 2-loss Alabama team. But again, it depends on what happens in the Pac-12 with Oregon. It depends on what happens in the Big 12. And it really depends a lot on what happens with that Michigan State and with Ohio State. But, yeah, I could see Alabama being the first team to get into the Final Four with 2 losses.
All right, we need to take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Lars, I think you got to take off, don't you?
No, I got a couple questions for you, Jay, about Alabama's offensive line, and so if you got time for it, we're going to explore that.
Definitely. Local Realty can help you when it comes to selling your home. They're going to save you a bunch of money. For a lot of us, the biggest investment we make is in our home. The equity we put into it, and then we sell it, end up paying a large percentage of that back out. They don't want to do that anymore. They changed their philosophy a few years back, and almost 4 years now, and just have sold thousands of homes, and they're really saving people millions of dollars The key is the flat fee. It's $2,900 flat fee up to a $500,000 listing. That's all they're going to charge for the sale of your home. It's going to save some of you tens of thousands of dollars, and they've already saved millions throughout our metro area. They've expanded north and South Alabama. Check them out for yourself. You're going to love the family. You'll love their team. LocalRealtyFlatFee.com is their website. LocalRealtyFlatFee.com, and you'll find out more about Local Realty. We come back to, I want to get you guys' thoughts about as far as when you look at Mel Tucker and you look at Cristobal. Is either one of those guys, who do you think most likely to leave their university and maybe be at USC or be at LSU? We'll get into that and much more coming up on the other side. Stay with us.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
Your home for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Hey, Bama fans, before you head to the stadium to watch the Tide roll, stop by JD's Market and Spirits for all your tailgating needs for Bama football games. Located only 3 blocks from the stadium, JD's offers over 500 liquor items, 400 wine items, and a huge selection of craft, domestic, and imported beers. JD's also has hot dogs, snacks, ice, and game day supplies. Everything you need for tailgating. JD's Market and Spirits, 400 yards from Bryant-Denny Stadium on the west side. Call 722-2113.
With round-the-clock protection at a great price, your Progressive policy works the way it's supposed to, unlike this unenthusiastic hype man.
Okay, everybody, let's make some noise. Put your hands up. Or not. It's your call. Here we go now. Here we go.
Switch to Progressive today.
It is electric in here.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You know what happens in a plasma chamber?
Big stuff. Science stuff.
Diamonds. I'm Tom Osmond. Fincher & Osmond Jewelers carries artisan-created diamonds.
Earth and human safe.
And bigger. Lots bigger.
Fincher & Osmond diamonds from the mines or artisan-created diamonds.
They're all diamonds.
If you want to give her the big stuff, you've got to see these diamonds.
FincherandOsmond.com. A little tricky to find on McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots.
Churches is adding Applewood smoked Texas cut bacon to our all-white meat chicken sandwich. Yep, these two are best flavors forever. Try our new Texas cut bacon chicken sandwiches today. Churches, bringing that down home flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
That's a no-whip, high-foam, 170-degree, sugar-free gingerbread latte.
Ah, yes, it's gingerbread latte season at Duchesne's Coffee Shop. He'll need a seasonal barista before his cookie starts to crumble.
Anything else? Oh, there's a list.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, this is Tamara Kroom, Deputy Director of the Tuscaloosa County Emergency Management Agency. If the pandemic has caused you to fall behind on your rent or utilities, the county's Emergency Rental Assistance Program is here to help. This program can assist qualified landlords and renters with delinquent payments. To apply, go to TUSCCO.com/ERAP or call 1-888-472-0027. Again, call 1-888-472-0027.
Dell Technologies' biggest business sale of the year has arrived. Step up your vision with top tech up to 45% off during their early access Black Friday event. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Plus, get incredible savings on Windows 11 PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping. There's also special financing with Dell Business Credit. Get started by contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Join Randy Smalley and me, Captain Ray, for the Randy and Ray football forecast, where we pick the games against the spread. It's this Friday night at 11 following the high school scoreboard show on Tide 100.9. Brought to you by Randy Smalley, Floor and Tile.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very pleasant afternoon. The sky partly to mostly sunny. The high today 76. Tonight increasingly cloudy with the low at 55. Tomorrow a cloudy day with occasional rain showers. There could be a thunderstorm in spots. The high tomorrow at 70. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 74 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
All right, welcome back in as we wrap up hour number 2. And again, appreciate you being with us on Bama Insider YouTube channel throughout every day now, noon, 2 o'clock. And your comments, always welcome, as well as likes, subscribe, and share. Matt Coulter, I'm Jay Barker. We're live at AVX out in Nebraska. We got Lars Anderson, and we got a number of things. I asked one in, Cristobal or Mel Tucker. Who do you think would end up leaving their school first, just by percentages in your mind?
I would think Mel Tucker. What about you, Laura?
Absolutely, Mel Tucker. He's going to be next head coach at LSU, and then he's going to be the coach who replaces Nick Saban at Alabama. That's my prediction.
Whoa! He went off the 10-meter.
Yeah. I mean, we've been about 10 years. That was a 10-year prediction right there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Either 4 or 5 years.
There's no way I'll be on radio in 10 years. Yes. Yeah. And there's a dog here that apparently does not agree with me. You may want to mute me, Josh.
Putting gutters on your house.
Look at him right there.
Yeah.
The background.
Right. Yeah. His name's Frankie.
Oh, your question about the O-line. We got to get that.
Yeah. So Jay, there's been so much talk about the offensive line since the LSU game and really all season long. And without pointing out a specific player, there's been an issue on the right side of the line, no question about it. When there is one sort of weak spot, you're the quarterback. How does that impact, one, the play of the rest of the offensive line, and then two, how does it impact the quarterback when he knows that there could be issues coming from that the person that this particular player is charged with blocking or whatever his assignment may be?
Yeah, I mean, it can be disruptive just because you're worried about it. But the key, though, I think, is then that as the quarterback, you go to a Bill O'Brien, and I'm sure this is the case. I'm not saying it's not, but you say, I want to protect myself. I'm going to do everything I can. Let me control the line of scrimmage. Let me control the protection. And the Army was talking about it earlier, talking about man-on-man block. They call it Bob blocking, right? So it's you got your bigs on bigs, your backs on linebackers, and in your center normally takes the mic. That's why you identify the mic when it's in a man-style protection, even in slide protection as well. But really, it's up to the quarterback, I think, to protect himself, Lars, and to feel more comfortable about it. And if he doesn't feel like the guy's getting the job done, he needs to express it to the coaches. And the problem is sometimes you rely more on experience and guys that made calls, played together, got a lot of games under their belt, and let these younger guys still develop. And that's kind of where I think Alabama's been a little bit this year. And I think they can get better on all levels. The ones that are there playing now, and the younger ones getting more playing time. So I think we'll see some of that, especially this weekend against New Mexico State. But good question there about the offensive line. Enjoy Nebraska. You'll be back with us tomorrow from there as well. And from Matt Coulter, Jay Barker, thank y'all for listening in each and every day. Again, on our YouTube channel, Bama Insider, and like, subscribe, and share. And also throughout the Jay Barker Radio Network, throughout Alabama, and on the Gulf Coast. Thank you. God bless. Have a great day.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Achieving your personal best often comes down to how you feel.